Japanese band recorded imaginary stalkers, then real ones appeared. How does that work? Like, you invited imaginary stalkers, like ghosts, and then actual stalkers appeared. Stage.
Why was this man so hated that he would be arrested 8 times, banned from dozens of stores, and have people surround his house and tail him for months on end?
Whoa! It takes a lot to do that kind of shit in Japan. 8 times, bro.
Exaggerating, this is the most unbelievable story I've ever covered on my channel. So, what could he have possibly done? In December of 2004, Japanese police began receiving numerous 911 calls from the same individual, most of which were completely silent.
This is the actual footage, by the way, apparently.
Over the next year, this became so frequent that the caller was warned if he continued, he would be arrested, to which he replied, and over the next 24 hours, he made over 1,000 emergency calls. After that, the police did catch him, very easily in fact, and he was sentenced to 1 year and 4 months in prison. You're going to hear that a lot in this video. Neighbors say the caller used to be a normal guy, but after getting dismissed from his internship at the city waterways department, he had a breakdown and started acting.
So he had a mental break. Okay. Yeah, in Japan, it's really common for people to have mental breaks from working so hard or from losing their jobs. It sucks. It's like an actual problem.
Acting strangely. This was the first time his name appeared in the public record, but in this video, I'm going to call him by a pseudonym, Yoshi. After being released from prison, Yoshi continued his feud with the police. In May of 2009, Yoshi got into some trouble at a car dealership. It all started when his mechanic reached out and touched his shoulder with oily hands. Yoshi pushed him away, which started a fight that ended up with him getting, well, you guessed it, arrested. In jail, Yoshi tried to preserve his oil-stained clothing to prove his self-defense case, but when he was released 20 days later, he failed to produce anything. Yoshi accused his lawyer of secretly washing his clothes, and now believed there was a conspiracy to get him. I mean,
and you're telling me this guy's not a little bit of a schizo? Like, come on. Everywhere has schizos, man.
The police showed up at the scene suspiciously quickly, and the mechanic must have tricked Yoshi into attacking him. It all made sense now. They were gang stalkers. Everyone in the town was gang stalking him, but he was going to expose them. In June 2013, Yoshi opened a YouTube channel to document the activities of these gang stalkers under the username IUAO700. Most of his uploads, around 10 minutes in length, featured Yoshi recording from his balcony or cycling around his neighborhood.
No, this is actually, like, you need help if you think the entire town is gang stalking you. Yeah, they need to put him in a hospital and give him meds.
Randomly filming people in Japan is rude and possibly even illegal. Plus, Yoshi's using a digital camera, so it's not surprising that he made a lot of enemies. One of the enemies he made was this construction company near his house that was installing security cameras in their parking lot. They must be spying on him.
What do you mean? They're filming the fucking cars so people don't steal them. What?
He calls the cops on them, but then...
Bro, he needs help, man. I feel kind of bad.
He assaults and spits on the employee in front of the police officer that he called. So he gets arrested again. He was released after 20 days. Basically,
You're not even halfway through this video. That's 3 arrests. That's 1 arrest a minute.
Longest they can hold you without charging you. But this only intensified his crusade against the gang stalkers.
Oh my god.
Next, Yoshi noticed a strange van in his neighborhood. He went over to investigate.
Why is his name Acid Milk?
あなた学校に用事があるの？
いや、まあ、回収があるんですけど。
He keeps asking Mr. Acid Milk the same questions over and over, and they're not making any progress, so eventually, he just calls him a stalker.
お前みたいなストーカーがおるから取ってんだよ。
ストーカーじゃね
Oh, he's pissed.
えんだよ、この野郎。
Mr. Acid Milk calls the cops.
すいません。ちょっとね、変な人に。
The local cops, who are already familiar with Yoshi, ask why he's being so
no.
aggressive and filming.
前そこで休憩してたんですよ。
ほ
で、今日はここで休憩してるんですよ。
う。それは日陰探して回ってきたんじゃないんかね。
He's in the shade. Yeah, like
不審でしょ？
不審かね。
うん、不審ですよ。
The cops tell him to leave Mr. Acid Milk alone, and for once, he gets off without being arrested. The next gang stalker
3.5.
Yoshi targeted in his videos was the elementary school. Yes, he was feuding with an elementary school. Why?
The kids.
Well, I guess the kids were being too loud.
And
the chime was annoying.
As acid milk is suspicious.
Yeah, I mean, that is kind of weird. But it's in Japan. They probably have some really silly names. I know that for a fact. They have some really ridiculous fashion designer names. Kids being kids, of course they're loud. I used to live near an elementary school with my parents when I was a kid, and I actually found the noises to be really peaceful. When I was sick and I would be like at home and I could hear them, I'd be like, I'm kind of jealous. I kind of wish I could go play with my friends. Because you could hear them. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I thought it was peaceful. Kids screaming and
this
having
is where
fun
things get
outside.
messed up because Yoshi, in protest of the elementary school gang stalking him, goes over and starts yelling and filming the students.
Oh, that's illegal.
And then the vice principal comes over to tell him to stop.
Oh my god.
すいません、動画撮るのやめてください。ちょっとやめてもらえませんですか？
Yeah, filming
Yoshi
at
gets
school.
angry and the vice principal calls the cops on him. They let him go home that day. But then the next day,
That's
the cops
cool.
show up at his house with a search warrant and an arrest warrant.
やめて、こっち来て、ちょっと来て、ちょっとやめて、ちょっとやめて、やめなさい、やめなさい。応じてくれんか？ちょっとやめてください。やめなさいって言ったの。ほらほら、はい、じゃあ、ガスするよ。止めてくださいって言ったの。やめなさいって言ったら、やめなさい。
やめてください。
止めなさいって言ったの。止めなさいって。
止めて、止めて。
止めれない？止めれんか？止めれない。
I don't think these officers want to be filmed. Suspiciously, during this kerfuffle, he picked up a charge for resisting arrest. Apparently, he scratched an officer. I don't know about this one, but they didn't end up prosecuting him and released him after 20 days. After this, Yoshi started to see gang stalkers everywhere. Every car that drove by was a gang stalker. Helicopters were gang stalkers. Even airplanes were gang stalkers.
Oh my god.
He was also banned from a lot of local stores for causing trouble and filming inside.
ちょっといいですか？
何？
あなた盗撮してますよね。YouTube にアップしてますよね。立ち入り禁止ですあなた。二度と来ないでください。
もう二度と来ないでください。申し訳ない時はもう出禁になってますので今すぐ出てってください。
This is insane, man. This is so sad. I feel like he should just be like in a rehab or something. Like he's displaying like very obvious signs of like schizophrenia. Like, I've talked to people who have schizophrenia. When you are this paranoid and you start filming and, like, saying that people are gang stalking you, that's a very, very obvious sign that you are Delulu. Yeah. And posting it online and threatening
But
people,
then,
too.
all of a sudden, Yoshi went missing. He didn't upload
So
for
bonka.
over a year. It was confusing, but the video he uploaded after he came back would explain everything. It starts off like a typical Yoshi video. He's cycling around his neighborhood and exposing the gang stalkers.
Oh my god.
But then, all of a sudden, a high
Why didn't anyone help him? It's a pretty big problem in Asia in general, not just Japan, to ignore people who are mentally ill rather than addressing the issue and getting them help. I'm sure this guy, if he had help and was medicated, he could be a really nice person. He seems smart. Like, again, he had a mental break and he went cuckoo. People do it in the West too. Oh, I totally agree, but I'm just saying it's not as much. Not as much. Like, in Asia, it's pretty, like, it's a big problem.
school kid rings his bell and angers Yoshi. He chases the kid.
Oh my god. Dude, he's chasing a kid.
While Yoshi was fine with posting other people's faces online, he always censored his own. Eventually, he catches
back
up to
here,
the kid and
kid.
kicks him off his bike. Yoshi tries to attack while still on his bicycle, so the kid is able to dodge by just walking back and forth while calling for help on his phone.
What the
Soon,
fuck?
some women who heard the commotion come to help. They restrain Yoshi while waiting for the police to come, the whole while he's screaming.
助けて集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーこいつら仲間です
First off, the kid was fine, but this one was a big deal for Yoshi. The cops came, they arrested him, and this time they did prosecute. Thankfully, he recorded the evidence, so it was a pretty easy conviction, and he was sentenced to 10 months. That's why he was missing online for so long, and when he finally got back and uploaded this video, it didn't exactly
He uploaded the fucking crime. Yeah, that's the Lulu as hell.
go how he thought it would. I mean, he thought this video made him look good. Like, he thought he was the good guy in this situation. As you can imagine, this video caught people's attention. Specifically, the way he's yelling here.
集団ストーカーに襲われてます集団ストーカーに襲われてます
Kind of became a meme. But his next up
They shouldn't have sentenced him to jail. Check him into like an institution, man.
upload would really put him on the map. But first, a word from the sponsor of today's video, Displate. Displates are premium quality metal prints that mount on your wall effortlessly. I've known about Displate for a long time, but I finally got some and I was blown away by how nice they look and how high quality they are. Setup is a breeze. You clean the wall, add the protective leaf, place the magnet, and you're done in like 20 seconds. With over 1.3 million designs, including official brands like Star Wars, Marvel, and Elden Ring, there's something for everyone. I got a Disco Elysium one myself. Plus, their new Textura line adds 3D contours and textures. They look really cool.
Texture this.
They're printed in the EU and delivered in just 4 to 5 days worldwide. Ordering a Displate supports my channel, so why wait? Use my code Japanalysis for 27% off Displates or 37% off if you get 3 or more. Thanks again to Displate for sponsoring this video. Anyways, Yoshi's next upload was what really got him into trouble. As usual, we start off on Yoshi's balcony, but then we hear voices.
Filming the school. In between their growling and their grunts, these two gentlemen are telling Yoshi, stop filming, get down here, and we're gonna beat you up. For a moment, this video almost makes me think, poor Yoshi. What could he have possibly done to make these guys so mad? But this is all Yoshi's fault. The reason they're mad at him is because he spat on their mom multiple times. Their dad tries to talk it over, but he quickly realizes Yoshi is a lost cause. Eventually, he gives up and just calls the cops. Yoshi dodges arrest again. I would beat his ass too. Yeah, if you spell my mom, I'm gonna beat your ass. I'm gonna clap your cheeks. Don't touch my mama, you dumb bitch.
And that was the end of the video. But when Yoshi clicked the upload button on this one, he didn't know how much it was going to change his life, because this thing went mega viral. The first thing people noticed is that the two young guys look exactly like the characters from the manga Space Brothers. So that became their nickname. And it didn't stop there.
They kind of do. Japan loves memes. They really do.
At this point, Yoshi's videos start getting a lot of views, and he becomes a bit of a celebrity online.
Yeah.
As you could imagine, these viewers don't like Yoshi very much. Some of them decide to start messing with him. For a guy who's so concerned about gang stalkers, he did not protect his personal information very well. I mean, yeah, he censored his face, but he uploaded hours of footage from his balcony. He showed the front of his house. I mean, he even said—
Yeah, they even say where he lives, like, oh, I live across from an elementary school. I wonder what it is.
the name of the elementary school. The people online didn't need to be Rainbolt to track him down.
True.
At first, they started with small pranks, signing him up to receive university pamphlets or flyers, stuff like that. Yoshi freaked out and called the cops.
書類とかって何ですかいっぱい置かれてますけど
名前でありますけど、
え
違います
え俺の名前が書いてあるけど俺の名前を使って注文したやつがおるんだって
Which, of course, only escalated things. Before we continue,
Look, I'm gonna say it. I don't think mentally ill people deserve this shit. I really don't. I think this is genuinely a problem that should have been addressed by either, like, the authorities to, like, put him into an asylum so he can't, like, hurt other people or spit on them. Yeah, he does not deserve to get harassed like this. It's funny, but, like, in a sad kind of way.
I'd like to make it very clear that although Yoshi's behavior has been really bad up until this point, it's obviously wrong to mess with him in real life. The reason I say that is because it gets more intense from here. The next thing the trolls started doing was giving guys on Tinder Yoshi's address and saying to come over.
なんだちょっと人に会いに来たんですけど、それで場所ここを指定されたんですけど、誰に会いに来たんだちょっとネットの人で今から飲もうかってなって、でここに来たら人が違ったっていう。人が違ったでどうしてわかる
Yeah, but you're involving a person that's innocent, man. Now that's like, wow, you're
This
so
guy's so
mean.
convincing, even Yoshi's not sure he didn't invite him. Anyways, Yoshi asks the kid to show him the alcohol he brought, and then they have a peaceful parting. It wasn't long before the trolls themselves were showing up in Yoshi's neighborhood. At first, they started off by doing things like setting off fireworks or putting things on his bicycle seat, but it got out of control very quickly.
Gentlemen?
Oh my god.
The masked man just stands there, showing off grocery store products. Even weirder, you'd expect Yoshi to be like, what are you doing here? But both of them just stand there in silence for an entire minute. Until...
What?
What?
なんだお前おい
Aye, 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 aye.
なんだお前
Honestly, Yoshi's pretty calm and collected here because that was like a jump scare to me.
おい
Yeah, that was
But
kind of
that's
scary.
not the last we'll see of what the fans called the masked gentleman. No, he came back the next day. For some reason, he starts cleaning up garbage outside.
Okay. You do you, King.
Yoshi watches him do this for a while, like at least 10 minutes before he calls the cops.
家の前に覆面をした怪しいやつがいます。
わかりました。今まだいますか？
います。
何人いますか？
一人います。お前警察来るまで待ってろよ。
今その人と今話できるような状態。
おるここにおる。目の前におるわ。
Look
なんか
at
こいつ
his
なんか
fucking
凶器持って
face,
ますよ。
man. He's got tongs, man.
なんだこれなんか挟むやつ。今カチカチやってますわこいつ。
I cannot imagine what the guy on the other end of this
masked
call is thinking. Skipping ahead 3 minutes, the cops get there, but Yoshi thinks they came a little too quickly.
おハエもう来ました。どっかに隠れてたみたいに。どっかに隠れて110番するの待ってたみたいに来ましたわ。
But Yoshi's figured out their little conspiracy. They're working together.
お前らなんで110番すると金になるんか。騒ぎを起こしてお前110番させてなんだお前ら金になるんか。
Nobody was arrested here, but things continued escalating.
You came too quickly. I got shot in the chest. You came too quickly. You're working together.
Outside Yoshi's house. So much so that he bought a security camera to capture what was going on. The first upload was on September 12th, 2016. It shows a man in the pitch black at 3 a.m. taking flash photography outside Yoshi's house. 2 weeks later, Yoshi uploaded another video from the security camera. This kid comes by and throws paper everywhere. Yoshi comes out to check what the hell's going on. This is what Yoshi looks like. It's the first time he's ever appeared in one of his own videos. The kid sees that he came out and runs back. Then we cut to some footage from Yoshi's digital camera. Everyone online thought Yoshi did a great job of standing up for himself, and that the other guy went way too far. But the guy can't leave without his shirt, so he has to come back and apologize to Yoshi to retrieve it. But the cops are already on the way. You'll never believe this, but for the first time in our story, someone aside from Yoshi gets arrested.
Oh
Yeah,
my
as you can tell, the cops were so confused by what was going on that by the time they finished the arrest, it had gotten dark. And on October 9th, there was a circus of trolls outside.
Yo, wait, did they put a flag of an anime girl outside his house? No way. Very apt music.
But at least they stopped once the sun went down. Oh.
Honestly, not that bad.
By now, the pressure and stress of everyone messing with him was getting to Yoshi, and he started to cause trouble in the neighborhood.
なんか言うんですかなんで写真撮ってるんですかなんで写真撮ってるんですかなんで写真撮ってるんですか撮らなくていいですかやめてくれやめてくださいあなたこそやめてくださいあなたこそやめてください撮らないでくださいなんか写真撮らないでくださいあなたこそやめてください勝手に撮らないでくださいよ撮らないでくださいよだからちょっと写真撮らって勝手に撮らないと困るんで
Yoshi had finally met his
This
match.
is so bad, bro. Angry salaryman, get him! Beat his ass!
But the trolls weren't getting bored. In fact, they were only getting more elaborate. At 5 a.m. on October 25th, one of them placed a cardboard box outside of Yoshi's house. 4 hours later, Yoshi walked out to get his mail.
Oh my god, they sat in there the whole time?
And guess who was inside?
Masked Man!
Not only were the pranks getting more elaborate, they were also getting more dangerous. On October 30th, these guys were adjusting a flag they put up at Yoshi's house, which pissed him off, so he ran out and charged at them. He pushed the ladder over. It's pretty brutal, but in a stroke of luck, the guy was actually completely fine. He got knocked down, got up, and then continued messing with Yoshi outside his house for the rest of the day, like many more hours outside.
That's powerful.
Not
right
2
there.
weeks later, someone uploaded a video of themselves dancing outside Yoshi's house in an anime cosplay.
Oh my god. Wow, Kai!
The trolls had clearly escalated things too far, from harmless pranks all the way up to actual stalking. Yoshi's legacy is going from the guy who imagined he was being gang-stalked to actually being gang-stalked. And Yoshi wasn't the only one that they were hurting. You wouldn't believe this, but in that house of chaos, 48-year-old Yoshi lived with his parents, and their health started to decline. A few months prior, Yoshi's father slipped on their bathroom tiles and never fully recovered. In late 2016, he was hospitalized for pneumonia, and several weeks later, on January 3rd, 2017, he passed away. Yoshi never went to visit his father in the hospital because he was too paranoid about the gang stalkers. And he had his own theories about what happened. According to Yoshi, the slippery tiles that he tripped on, the gang stalkers did that. The pneumonia, well, the gang stalkers did that too.
Oh my god. He didn't even see it. See, like, it's interfering with his loved ones. That's so sad.
Even the hospital employees were gang stalkers. Their drugs were poisoned. Obviously, none of that is true, but trolls messing with him 24/7 was not helping his mental state. These trolls were now in every part of his life. One of them had even gone and visited his dad in the hospital. Because things had gotten so bad, Yoshi's mom gave him an ultimatum. If he didn't stop using the internet by the end of March 2017, she would have him institutionalized.
Only then? You should have institutionalized him before that!
Even signed a document that would allow this. So Yoshi had no choice. He stopped uploading. For 6 months, there was no sign of him, but on September 19th, 2017, everything changed. One of Yoshi's neighbors was walking by when he noticed something peculiar that made him stop in his tracks. It was Yoshi's mom laying outside the door. He called for an ambulance, but the person on the other end of the line was a little bit suspicious because it was Yoshi's address. He also alerted the neighbors, the Space Brothers house, and they all went to help. An ambulance arrived 10 minutes later. Where was Yoshi? Well, it didn't take police long to find him. He was in his room, watching the security cameras the whole time. He didn't get up to help. They placed him under arrest, but he refused to cooperate, so they had to carry him out.
No way.
His mom
What happened
didn't
to his
make it,
mom?
but Yoshi he didn't do
What?
it. They cleared him and sent him home that evening. The reason we have this footage is because, well, with his mom gone, he was able to get back on the internet and post it with absolutely zero sympathy for his mother, just complaining
My mother was poisoned by gang stalkers. Oh my god, this guy's schizo as fuck.
about how the cops treated him. I know it's hard to sympathize with Yoshi after everything he's done, but he's still a victim in this story. The person he hurt the most with his actions is himself.
True.
After the stuff with his mom, things were back to normal for a while. But in mid-2018, Yoshi disappeared again. The trolls looked everywhere for him. People who went by his house reported it was empty. Eventually, one of the trolls just went inside. The door was unlocked. The inside of Yoshi's house was a mess. More disturbingly, there were signs of a struggle, like Yoshi had been taken away. The truth is, Yoshi had gotten into a fight while handing out his gang stalker pamphlets and assaulted someone. He was arrested, held for 22 days, and then institutionalized. He was released 6 months later, but his
They released him. Oh my god.
bad luck didn't end there. In June 2019, his YouTube account was banned for copyright violations. It's unclear why this happened, but it might have had something to do with trolls following him around and playing copyrighted music. Worse, 3 days after his
He's mentally ill and being trolled, and this is like, oh my god, man.
ban, Yoshi was hit by a truck while cycling around his neighborhood. He suffered broken ribs, a punctured lung, fractures in his shoulder, lower back, hips, and more. He was injured all over, but he didn't trust the hospital workers. He thought they were with the gang stalkers, so he refused treatment and went home. Adding insult to injury, Yoshi's internet had been disconnected for non-payment, and by the end of the year, he also lost his water and electricity. Yoshi's obsession with gang stalkers had now cost him everything. Surprisingly,
How do you recover from a punctured lung? You just sit there and wallow in misery?
help came to Yoshi from the last place you'd expect, the internet. In 2020, as live streaming became a thing in Japan, people wanted to go and meet Yoshi for content. The only good thing was, it's pretty bad to go and mess with someone who's already in so much trouble, so they went to help him. The first live streamer who went to meet him was Natural9, and he was the first person to ever successfully speak with Yoshi, a lot different from the people who would just yell at him through his window. The first day they met, Natural9 took Yoshi to City Hall to help him apply for welfare benefits. Then, the next day, he took Yoshi to get his utilities turned back on. But they were unsuccessful because the outstanding balance was so high. They went out for sushi on the way home, and Yoshi opened up about his personal life. He said that when he was young, he used to think he was a genius, and that he's afraid of death. Natural9 had successfully befriended Yoshi, and they streamed together many times. Unfortunately, this relationship was not to last. One day, coming home from dinner, Natural9 went to take off his Crocs as he went in Yoshi's house, and Yoshi was like, "Nah, you don't have to take them off." But right after they got inside, that was it. Their friendship was over. Regardless, a few days later, Natural9 went back to apologize and gave Yoshi $140. Plus, his viewers were donating too, so Yoshi got like $600 that day. Natural9 no longer streams, but apparently he still brings Yoshi food here and there. Two other live streamers went to meet Yoshi as well. This Yosun guy also showed up with like $100 for Yoshi. I guess that was the new standard. If you wanted him on your stream, you had to donate him $100. They ended up going out for dinner and spending 5 hours talking. During this conversation, Yoshi confessed that he was stealing fruit from local farmers in the middle of the night. Finally, this Ito guy hung out with Yoshi for a day, donated the standard $100, and they spent 3 hours going to different restaurants together. Yoshi explained that another live streamer named Kobayashi had paid off all his bills, his water, his electricity, and his gas, so his life had improved significantly. He also revealed that he had no idea about the pandemic. Pretty ironic coming from Yoshi, who had been wearing a mask since 2013 because he didn't want to be seen by gang stalkers. He also said that his neighbors, the Space Brothers family, had moved away, and that a Vietnamese family had moved in, and they were opening up a rrestaurant.
Schizo, man.
The Space Brothers had to heavily discount their house to get it to sell, and the Vietnamese family probably didn't know why it was so cheap until after they moved in. It did not take long for trouble to start. The Vietnamese family complained that Yoshi was banging on the walls and making noise all the time. And Yoshi complained that they were doing karaoke at 2 a.m. Things spiraled out of control in May of 2022 when Yoshi smashed the window of the Vietnamese family's car, which got the police involved. Yoshi was live streaming at the time that they came. Yoshi was arrested again. The footage you're seeing is actually uploaded by the Vietnamese family. He was in jail for just under a year. He got out in April 2023. And by that time, the Vietnamese family had already moved away. He laid low for 5 months, then returned to the internet in September. And now we're all caught up to the present. Yoshi streams every day from his phone. He covers stuff like gang stalkers and how to prevent them, social ostracism. Amazon is gang stalking me by delivering all my packages. The Sun is gang stalking me. The police chief.
Amazon is gang stalking me by sending me the right packages. Damn. I wish Amazon sent my packages consistently.
He is a gang stalker. People are still stalking my dad's great. So I covered all that stuff in part 2. And believe me, there are so many more interesting Yoshi stories that I couldn't fit in this one. Part 2 is available for free on my Patreon. Yes, that's right. It's free. You don't have to pay. Just click the link in the description. Thanks to my patrons who make all this stuff possible. And thanks to you for watching until the end. Consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Thank you very much.
There's a part 2? Yeah, it's probably not monetizable. It's probably got some fucked up shit in it.